When Shred announced the fate of Leona and Ziyu, everyone else finally breathed a sigh of relief. Now, it is finally completely safe. But Ziyu was desperate in her heart. She didn't understand why Shred chose her mother and herself from more than 100 people. However, when she thought about it carefully, she can't help feeling, I don't know how to brag about appearances. My mother and I are indeed the more outstanding among the more than 100 people. This Shred looks not only sturdy, but also a bit squint. He will choose me and my mother from so many people, which is also in line with the style of this kind of person. I just don't know, besides wanting my mother and me to host him, will this person have any other attempts? So she looked at her mother beside her nervously. Leona saw her daughter's gaze, patted her hand lightly, and said in a low voice, "Darling, don't worry, your mother is with you, but as well the soldiers are here to stop and the water comes to cover." Ziyu whispered, "Mom, let's think of a way to send information to Dad or Grandpa." Leona shook her head. The distant water can't save the nearby fire. Everyone holds their heads in their hands. What if he finds you while holding your phone? Ziyu said eagerly, but we can't just follow him like this. This is too passive. As she was talking, Shred was already walking towards the mother and daughter, so Ziyu quickly closed her mouth. Shred walked to the front of the mother and daughter, shrugged and smiled. "Oh, I have worked so hard for the two beautiful women to accompany me again." Leona did not hesitate to speak at this time. "Take me hostage and leave my daughter. She is too young, and she is scared in her heart. If she keeps talking on the road, I am afraid it will annoy you." Upon hearing this, Ziyu hurriedly said, "Mom, I want to be with you." Shred pretended to be surprised and said, "Oh, I didn't expect you two big beauties to have a mother-daughter relationship. The mother-to-be is too young to tell at all." Leona looked at Shred and said with some pleading, "Please gentlemen, my daughter is still young, and she has been very frightened, so please stop tossing her." At this time, a woman who was dressed in a coquettish dress said annoyedly, "Hey. What do you mean by this woman? Since Brother Shred has chosen you, you too will accept your fate. Why do you do this? This kind of thing? If you do this, don't you increase the risk for us? I advise you two to follow Big Brother Shred obediently." What kind of bargaining is this, really? As soon as the woman spoke, someone next to her immediately agreed, "Yes. He has chosen the two of you, and you still want to bargain. Do you want to choose another one of us?" The coquettish woman immediately said, "That's right. Whoever is chosen by Brother Shred will obediently follow him. At this time, I'm asking for mercy. Isn't it just trying to pull others into the water?" Shred glanced at the woman, then smiled and asked, "What's the matter, beautiful woman? Are you afraid that I will choose you?" The woman was taken aback, and hurriedly waved her hand and said, "No, Brother Shred, how can I be worthy of you like a rouge and vulgar fan? Or the little beauty just now is better compared to." Shred looked at her coldly, smiled playfully, and said, "Since you also know that you are a vulgar fan, there is no need to stay in this world and pollute other people's eyes." After that, Shred immediately pointed his gun at the woman. The woman was so frightened that she screamed, "Big Brother, please be forgiving." Shred smiled cruelly, then immediately pulled the trigger. After the bang, a finger-thin blood hole suddenly appeared on the woman's forehead. Immediately afterwards, her eyes widened, she fell straight back. A large pool of blood soon shed on the ground, and the smell of blood was permeated throughout the hall. Everyone present was so scared that their souls were scattered, and no one thought that Shred would be so vicious and evil. That woman just said a few more words, and he actually shot her to death with a single shot. In fact, Shred killed this woman not because she was really disgusting, but to give Leona and Ziyu a smashing power show. He must use this method of killing chickens to make the mother and daughter 100% obedient to himself. Only in this way can he take them away as planned. So, he looked at Leona, who was pale, and asked with great interest, "How is it, Big Beauty? Are you still bargaining with me?" Leona immediately shook her head. She knew that the vicious man in front of her was a murderous demon, and she could only follow his instructions purely, could not refuse, or even have any doubts. She thought to herself, if I continue to bargain with him, then it is very likely that I will be killed on the spot. It doesn't matter if I die, but the point is that if I die, this guy still doesn't let Ziyu go, then everything is over. Thinking of this, she took Ziyu's hand, looked at Shred, and said firmly, "We will go with you." Shred immediately smiled and said happily, "Oh. Two beauties, these are the real masters who know the current affairs. As long as you are obedient and cooperate with me to escape, I will definitely not hurt you, but if you dare to play with me carefully, I will definitely let you two go to see Lord together." Leona nodded firmly, and said seriously, "Don't worry, we will cooperate." Shred smiled with satisfaction. "Since you are so on, then I won't talk nonsense." After speaking, he waved the gun in his hand and said, "You two go first." Leona nodded and pulled Ziyu beside her to stand up. The mother and daughter looked at each other. She firmly squeezed Ziyu's hand and walked towards the gate of the treasure pavilion. At this moment, Isaac's Rolls-Royce stopped in the middle of the courtyard at the entrance of Treasure's pavilion, while all the police retreated outside the courtyard according to Shred's request, staring at the entire Treasure's pavilion outside the courtyard. At this moment, the locked door of the treasure pavilion suddenly opened, and everyone immediately roused their spirits. The Deputy Commander-in-Chief of the police, Ross, ordered through the internal walkie-talkie, "All snipers are ready. Once the target appears, immediately lock the target from your respective directions." The Commander-in-Chief said at this moment, "Team Red, the target always holds the detonation switch, we must be cautious. Without 100% certainty, we must not shoot." Ross's expression was startled, then he sighed and was about to speak when he suddenly saw two women walking out of the gate of Treasure Pavilion. At this time, less than 5 meters away from Ross, Isaac suddenly exclaimed, "Master, it is Leona and Ziyu."